how to keep you safe in your workplace meeting. It's very important both to us as a company and OHSA as a government agency to make sure that your workplace is safe, healthy, and you know your rights and responsibilities for your workplace, and you know our expectations and responsibilities in order to keep you safe. So once a year we have this big all-group meeting, not just because it's so much fun to see each other, but so we all know that we've heard the same information every single time. So if you want to take a look at your Workplace Safety 2012 refresher, Dr. Miller, we've got drinks there, and pizza there, and there's chairs here. So these are the things that we're going to talk about today. Any questions, any concerns, anything that you don't understand, speak up, talk. This can be a group discussion. It makes it a little bit more fun, okay? Does anyone know what OHSA stands for?
Occupational safety hazard.
I can't hear you.
Occupational safety hazard.
Administration. That's the Administration Association, one of those. Yes, talking about safety in your workplace, basically. So let's talk a little bit about do we work in a hazardous environment? Is it dangerous? I mean, we're not using forklifts. We're not, there's no jackhammers. We don't have to go mining underground. We're not working like a meat processing plant. I mean, our jobs. Are there any hazards really?
Everybody has sharp things.
So good, Jenna. So what is something that is dangerous where we're
Scalpels, scissors,
Sharp teeth.
teeth.
Yeah.
Chemicals.
Doctors.
Yeah. What else? Slippery floors. Absolutely.
Needles.
Needles. What else?
Chemicals. Anesthesia.
Chemicals. Anesthesia. What else? Fires. Charlotte, what's a danger?
A lifting.
Lifting. What's the #1 most common injury in animal hospitals? You think it's dog bites?
Lifting.
Pulling your back out.
Lifting. So easy to hurt your back. So please, we're going to talk about all sorts of different ways so you can try and protect your back. Okay? Right, Charlotte?
Charlotte's gonna demonstrate.
Okay? Charlotte, let us know if you need to take a break to stretch your back.
She lays down on the floor with it.
Yeah, exactly. Get her head out. All right. So if we know that there's hazards in our workplace, what do? Cross our fingers, 4-leaf clovers, horseshoes.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. What do?
React. Take care of it.
Okay.
Report it.
That's one. We can definitely react to danger. What else can we do?
Prevent it.
Yeah, we can prevent it. That's even better. We're going to talk about what happens when we have to react, but I'd rather prevent you guys getting hurt rather than having to fix you up later. Okay? So, what is PPE? Yeah. So, you guys all hear that? PPE is personal protective equipment. So, let's say we're talking about dog teeth. That was one of our hazards. What sort of PPE does the practice provide you guys?
Gloves.
Gloves, yeah. Towels, yeah. What else?
Shots.
I'm sorry, what?
Shots.
Yeah, absolutely, chemical restraint, 100%.
Prevent the baseball.
They're like hacking the crate going, never going there. So, and what else? So we have PPE to deal with bites, like to prevent bites. What else though do we do to prevent bites?
Proper technique to strain.
Absolutely. Proper training to both identify situations that are dangerous and how to restrain so we don't get bit. All right. Let me just make sure. So we talked about animal bites. We talked about anesthetic gases. We talked about slips and falls, motion injuries. That's like your lifting and your bending and stuff. We talked about chemical exposure. What else? What have we left off there so far?
X-rays.
X-ray, absolutely. Nothing like a little radiation. What else? Security. guy shows up, what are they gonna come looking for? Money and drugs. We happen to be a hotbed of both. What else?
Laser safety, yeah.
Yes, laser safety, absolutely, that's what's on the list, good point. What about lepto? What about rabies? What about giardia, coccidia, biological? AIDS. Scabies. I mean, these are all things that anytime you're gonna work on an animal, you know, are things that we need to consider, and we need to know, okay, how are we gonna prevent exposure, how are we gonna identify exposure, things like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit, Dr. Marcelo, can I move my chair in front and sit down? Will that still be, I still be in the frame you want to?
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been shooting the crowd, was that?
Getting the crowd's reaction, very important for my training. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about chemical exposure. What does chemical exposure mean in the animal hospital?
Exposure to chemicals. I'm not sure how else to.
Yeah, give me an example.
Cleaners,
Chemistol, bleach,
Alcohol. Okay, Jenna.
Developer.
One thing I will say is OSHA actually does not consider,
No, because you guys don't actually
OSHA does not actually consider household cleaners part of falling under the OSHA umbrella. But I will tell you that bleach is absolutely, can be hazardous if you splash it in your eyes and drink it and inhale it. Technically, it's not considered a hazardous chemical because it's a general household product. What else? I think you guys are missing, do you guys know what the most carcinogenic product in our,
Formaldehyde?
No, the dipquick stains.
stain.
the quick stain? The purple one is not good for your cells at all. So, you know,
What
things
is it?
that.
The what?
The purple,
Dipquick stain.
What we're doing here is cytology.
The one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
staining when you slide in and
Oh,
out.
this one's good.
The purple one is very, very bad for you. You should not get it on your hands because it specifically, you know, is absorbed into cells and stuff like that. So, so what do we do to prevent chemical exposure?
Gloves.
Gloves?
goes by the end of it.
What about for, some of our medicated baths and our Lyme dips and stuff like that? Gloves, aprons, goggles, yep, masks. Let's say that I'm new, and in fact, Brooke is new. Hi Brooke, how are you? Good. So let's, Brooke, you're brand new, and someone says, hey, can you do me a favor, I need you to dip this dog, and I need you to rinse him off, and I need you to pour this stuff that we have in this bottle, this is great for ticks. Can you go and do that in the backyard? What are some things that you might wanna know first? Yep, absolutely. And what sort of PPE should you be wearing, right? Where would you find that information? Yeah, absolutely, that's your first line of defense. What else? Where else would she look for this information?
On the bottle.
MSDS sheets. Yep. Does everyone know what MSDS stands for?
Material safety data sheet.
Every chemical in the hospital is shipped to us for the first time with a sheet that has the name, the chemicals, the active ingredients, the inactive ingredients, all of the precautions. Wear goggles, if you get in your eyes, do this. It's flammable, don't touch it with your skin. It's, you know, airborne respiratory irritant, whatever it is, it talks all about it. So if you don't know what you're touching and what you're doing, you should be, you know, it's your responsibility to say, wait a minute, I don't know about this product, chemical, whatever. I'm gonna take a minute and look at the MSDS books. Well, it would help if you knew where the MSDS books are. So where do we keep the MSDS books? At Park Heights, where do we keep them?
Above the kennel computer.
Does everyone know what she's talking about? Above that, right outside the kennel door, there's the computer, right up on top. 2 or 3 big giant binders that say MSDS. At Village Pet Villas, where do we keep the MSDS books?
In the kitchen and the door.
Sounds good. Everyone who works at Pet Villas knows what those are. Village Vet, where do we keep them?
Second shelf in your office.
Yep. doctor's office, second shelf, giant binders, MSDS. Anyone is welcome and encouraged to look at them at any time. That information there helps keep you safe, okay? It's our responsibility to keep those current, keep them accessible to you. It's your responsibility to take the time and care enough to go and look and make sure you're keeping yourself safe. What happens at Brooke if, wait, no, I'm sorry, hold on, April. Let's say, April, that you go in there and you've got a bottle of a special shampoo and you're trying to look it up and you can't find that shampoo in there. You just go, it must not be dangerous, I'll splash some in my eyes to check. No, what should you do?
Who hired her?
Who's responsible for this girl? What should you do? And it's not in the MSDS book.
Well, after you looked at the back of the bottle and you did if your fellow coworkers didn't know, I mean, we call the manufacturer and find out exactly what it can do to you.
Yes. Yeah, you request an MSDS sheet from your supervisor.
Oh.
It kind of goes up the chain of command, and our practice and our business, Anita Valdez is the OHSA guru who is responsible for keeping you safe. So you ask Kaylee, Kaylee says, I have no idea where to get that, so she asks Danielle, Danielle says, I don't know, does anyone know? Nope, they ask me, no clue, they check with all the doctors, nope. Someone's gonna stop and call Anita, and she's gonna go, time out, freeze, I want everyone to be safe, let me get you that information so we can make a safe decision. Okay? That makes sense? So see how it's our responsibility to provide it, but it's your responsibility to look for it.
Most all of it is available online.
Yes, absolutely. No more trees down. All right, slips and falls. What kind of things cause slips and falls in the hospital?
Wet
Wet
floors.
floors.
Hey.
Chairs.
Yeah. Things. Yeah, dogs.
Not
All right.
But it is slippery.
Radiation. Where does radiation come from? The sun?
Probably the
X-ray machine. What do we do if we're near the X-ray machine?
Get away. Not just be in there.
Absolutely. How old do you need to be in the same room as the X-ray machine when it's being used?
18.
How old?
18.
How old?
21.
18. Good. Thank you, Brooke. Let me know when you have your 18th birthday. 2 years. 2 years.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. Oh my. Okay,
Jeez, I
good
feel
times,
really
good
old
times.
now.
Moving on. You're taking X-rays. Radiation is emanating from the machine. It is changing your cellular structure. It is causing things to mutate. What do you do to keep yourself from turning into a gnarled, cancerous knoll? What sort of?
Wear your gloves, wear your leaded apron, wear your thyroid protector,
Yeah,
Or your
wear
badge?
your radiation badge.
absolutely. Which of those is optional?
None.
Thank you.
And you come to the X-ray theater.
If you've been there a long time, do you still need to wear gloves?
Yes.
What if you don't really care what your hands look like? Do you still need to wear gloves? Yeah. What is my responsibility, and more so Anita Valdez's responsibility, if you're not maintaining your responsibilities such as wearing your gloves, wearing your aprons, things like that?
Do anything you can to keep us safe.
What was that?
Do anything you can to keep us safe, including firing us if necessary.
Okay, well, thank you, Jenny. I don't think there's any
Like an extra.
Yes, please, next year's OHSA lecture.
Sorry.
A doctor himself.
Okay. For the record, Anita Valdez, captain of our OHSA team, thought that I should throw Tootsie Pops. double fine if that happens. What happens if there's a fire? God forbid. What is our number one responsibility?
Our safety.
Get the animal
The
down.
pets.
No.
No.
What? I heard it.
Call 911.
Yes, I heard it.
Fine.
Yes. Our number one responsibility is to get those clients out of the building.
All of
We
them?
have the advantage of.
Someone knock them down.
Skip it, what's up,
Oh, so you have to give it back now. Okay.
I stole a cookie before I came in from outside.
Think about it. We work in that building every day. We know every doorway. We know every exit. We know where the fire extinguishers are located. Our clients are there once a year. They don't know how to get out. They're panicked. Our responsibility is to get them out. That human life is absolute number one. You know, clients, us, pets. Okay? I will be more upset than you guys will know if we lose pets in a fire. Okay? I can't really even think about it without feeling a little nauseous, but I would much rather call someone and say, I'm so sorry, your dog died while you were boarding, than have to call and say, wow, so sorry about your wife. Okay? Please, 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 don't, you know, it's not a second guess, it's nothing, that is just the way it is, okay?
And we've had a fire before. We've
Really?
lived it, okay, at the Pet Hotel. But everybody got out, the firemen loaded everybody up in the rolling cages and got them out and chased a cat and got her and.
Wow.
12 years ago, is that scary.
8 years ago.
Scary.
What happens if we have to evacuate the building at Village Vet? Where do we go? Because the first thing the fireman's gonna wanna know is everyone out, do a head count.
The far parking lot.
Far parking lot, up in that top corner, right? If you're not there, we will assume that you are still in that building. Okay? If I die trying to drag your ass out of a building and you're standing over on the other side, like smoking a cigarette and like chatting with people from the dentist, I will be pissed. I will haunt you forever. Yes, way up on the top of the hill. Because as soon as there's a fire, it's gonna be absolute madness. I do not think that we're gonna see you sitting over at the park, you know, the bench over by the pond. No one's gonna have any idea where you are.
Just remember if it's their day off.
What?
Just remember if it's their day off.
Oh yeah, no,
And they're
that's why
not
we have to
there.
know who's there.
Right.
Absolutely. What about at Park Heights? Where do we meet?
I don't know where to. Pretty sure the whole place would blow up.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go. We meet at the outside.
Nearly new
patio.
furniture. No.
Stay away from the RV.
Place is the outside, like that little awning section at the furniture store.
And
Okay,
tell them how
so
sorry
go
you
to
are
the.
the RV got burned.
Yeah, exactly. Feel free not to move the RV.
Veterinarian drips down on the building.
Yeah, but so that's it. So does anyone hear me? Where do we meet if Park Heights has to be evacuated?
Nearly
new.
By nearly new. Let's hope they allow us to congregate there. Business.
Probably would just have to pay them.
Yeah, you would have to rent the lot from them for a small amount of time. What if we have to evacuate the Village Pet Villas? Where do we go?
The back parking lot.
Parking lot. Okay. So is that over by the golf course again?
No.
Okay. All right.
Sarah, what's your reasoning for meeting it nearly new?
Just because it's
They go
far enough
shopping.
away that will be like out of the fireman's way. And if we go anywhere towards the other direction, it's gonna get more congested and more crowded, I think, if you try and go over by the dentist and all of that stuff. But if you think we should change it, let me know.
Yeah,
But
no.
that's just,
No, that
I
sounds
just,
good.
and I'm thinking too that things
There's
are
probably
pulling
would
in
be.
fast, like I just wanna
Yeah.
get people far enough away.
Right.
Wouldn't it suck to get out of a burning building and get run over by the fire truck?
That would be easier
That
for
would
the
go
talk.
Actually, that's what-
This is county owned.
What sort of security hazards?
Lighting.
Exit.
doors to pay attention to.
Multiple doors? Yeah.
Sometimes they don't.
You get the alarm.
Alarm doesn't work? Yeah. Whoever has to work by themselves, either coming in before other people, leaving after other people, working on the weekends. Yeah. Hey, Vicky Perry, how you doing? So, yeah. What are some things that you always have to be aware of when you're coming in and leaving by yourself?
who's behind that building. Who's behind the back?
Yeah. Being aware of your
Who's sitting
situation.
over the bank watching me?
What happens if, you have a house full of dogs in there, and there's like creepy guy number one kind of sitting on the sidewalk by the back door?
You grab the biggest dog and go out.
At the villages, that's like Yorkie.
If you pull up to do your shift and there's some guy sitting there.
I
and you-
was out there one time and there was a guy on the side of the building. It was about that.
There was a guy on Sunday when me and Erica came in, he's sitting on the front of the,
In the front of the building?
charging his phone.
No, this was not bad.
What?
We called the police after they got in the building.
Okay.
If she pulls up
I'm gonna see
either,
it.
she should
Yes,
drive
I can
one.
call.
I was just gonna say, I don't,
Dialing 911 as I was trying to grab the dog and go in the building.
they need to be aware that Citizens on Patrol is 2 doors down from the pet villas.
And they're closed on the weekend though.
And
I'm trying to get them at night. They're like at 9 to 5. Like they're patrolling as long as it's daylight and safe. Let's just so we've got
Neighborhood
a
watch
situation.
is-
So
is
Vicky
at
needs to
night.
come, or Brooke needs to come with Erica. You've got dogs to take care of. You pull up in the parking lot and you got sketchy guys sitting on the step outside the door. I'm gonna give you some scenarios. I wanna see hands raised, okay? Dig through your purse, get your mace.
No.
Head in like you mean it. Let me see your
No.
set hands. Okay. How about
Get Charlotte.
how about you pause and you call the non-emergency number for whatever Lady Lake or Fruitland Park, and explain the situation and that you would like an officer to escort you in the building.
Yes.
Show of hands.
Try
That's
that.
your right answer.
What happened?
What happened?
They never showed up.
Okay, then what would you do? Let's say police don't show up. What do you do next?
Well,
Yes,
that's an alarm,
yes.
so.
Then you call your emergency.
I'd either say 911 or you start calling the Valdez's and Dr. Valdez is gonna come over. You call Dr. Munsell, Dr. Munsell is gonna come over.
You can drive around the corner to the fire station, they'd probably go in with you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Or leave.
Yeah,
Or leave. I mean, if you're
yeah, the
not-
point is, you,
A little bit
If
later
you're
on.
not-
Yeah, it's
If
okay
you're
if they
not, the
pee.
safest thing to do would be to
I
leave.
used
I
to
would leave
on
in a
the
few
morning
minutes,
if they
even if
woke
it's
up,
driving
then
to
I
the
would-
parking lot, send
they'd
them
wonder
15
when
minutes,
otherwise
come
I'd
back,
step
and if
over
you're
it.
still there, then I would
But our
call.
clinic was across the road from a bar.
the point is,
Oh, so
you
people
should
come
not
to us
endanger
stupid
yourself. You need to have enough
pass
situational awareness that creepy guy's sitting there, there's nothing that's happening in that building that you need to get into if it's an unsafe situation, right? Take home message? Yes. What happens? Mandy's sitting at the front desk, whatever place she's working at that day, and scary guy comes in and says, I've got a gun in my pocket. I will blow your brains out. Give me the cash in the drawer. What do you do?
Give him the cash in the
There you go, and 3 doses of Sentinel.
Right? I mean, does anyone think that she should hesitate, try and talk him out of it,
No.
explain that this, no! Pick up the whole darn cash drawer and throw it as fast as you can while you're hitting what? What are you doing?
Down the middle, baby.
Down the middle, silent alarm.
You guys hold it?
Yeah, it's a little bit out of charge.
What are you talking
The
about?
alarm, I don't know if UPD does it, we should test it then.
Keep
The other two, you
Like
do
a
the
digit.
number
Right down the middle of what?
The alarm keeper.
8520
Oh,
or,
okay.
yeah, 8520.
I thought there was something under the desk or something. I'm like, I've never seen this.
Whatever it is, straight down the middle.
Yes, I know that.
Top to bottom. Sets off a silent alarm at the two hospitals.
Oh, shit.
And Anita can attest to this.
We could use it.
Oh,
We were hard work with them.
Oh, yeah.
Few
It's
times.
been done multiple times.
In one day.
Oh, I did it over and over and over again in one day, and I was like sitting there at Village Vet, and I'm like, what are the chances I'm adding alarm codes, and those officers have like guns drawn and moving towards the front door at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a feeling I have done something wrong. Sure enough, but Annette was kind enough to deal with them and give them her information. But yeah, I mean, it sets off a silent alarm that is a hostage code that says. I mean, they were not playing around. They should have.
ones? Is there 2 different ones? Is there like a hostage one or something?
Not that I know of, I mean, it's.
No,
No,
it's
it's
like
everything
like,
is-
yeah, everybody shows up on the doorstep then.
Yeah, I mean, they show
The
up
silent
like
alarm
with their
is-
guns, and they came in the middle of the day, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, here I have the alarm book, I made a mistake. We don't care. Who else is in the building? Oh, lots and lots of people. Yeah, we need to know who's in the building, like, is there a no, just me, I just made a mistake. Okay, I need to see some identification, I mean, they were not playing around at all, which made it feel good, but,
But there is not such a thing like Pet
I don't
Villas?
know, we need to test that.
That would probably, if they come in the front door, what do you say, wait a minute, I have to run to the back door, so.
Yeah, wait a moment.
Excuse me, I need to use the bathroom?
Yeah. I'm gonna wet my pants, wait a minute.
It's at the other end of the building?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know,
And
okay,
see, that's designed too, in case somebody follows you into the building. They
Yeah.
know you've got to turn the alarm off, so you just do that. And they think that you're complying, but the police know you're coming.
So does the alarm off?
Does it?
Yes.
I was about to say,
When
so
you
it
do
turns,
that,
yeah,
you
actually,
actually turn it on.
it turns the beep in the building off.
Okay.
Alright, so like
5 minutes later, there's not gonna be that alarm.
No.
No, it
No.
turns it off and it
So
says.
the guy, whoever's behind you thinks that it's
You
taken
shut
care
it
of
off.
and you've done what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
it's a
police will
farce,
be
it's
there
just to make
very
it look
quickly.
right.
And then the alarm company will not call either.
Yeah, they don't call, they don't check, they say,
Don't say the
someone
magic
is
word,
there as a
that's all.
hostage, go now.
So we need to check ours.
Yeah, and I just put it on my list of like action items from here, to check, because you have to like, call the alarm system, have them disable and then test, you can't just, yeah, they get very pesky if you just test it. Alright,
To get that alarm. To leave, you gotta, it's just not working.
the one is very sticky. Yeah.
Got the pet bill.
Oh, it's right there.
So you're trying to get that fixed.
Yeah. You did? I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
fix
a
it.
wire.
It's a wire.
You're gonna end up.
Well,
It's a bigger job than you think, so we just we can set it.
what about, yes, we talked about biological pathogens. Give me an example.
Rabies.
Rabies. Raise your hand if you have been rabies vaccinated. Raise your hand if you've had a titer done in the past 8 years.
What?
Titer, where they check your levels of immunity, past 8 years.
They checked yours when you were 12?
That's what I was gonna say. She didn't get it.
What do we
She's
do
about to
for
find out.
now this is a question to the doctors. What do we do if we have an animal that has a suspected zoonotic disease, like lepto, rabies, something like that? What do we do? Let everybody know. What's the fastest way? Like to let everyone know.
Label the cage,
Label the cage. Absolutely. As soon as there is something that's zoonotic on your rule out, you need to label the cage, because I would hate for, like, all the technicians talk about it, and then Brooke come in later and be like, oh, this one went pee-pee, I'll fix it. I don't know why I just gave you a baby voice. And, you know, and go right in. Like, wow,
Right? I'm
sorry,
not
I'm
me.
so mean. Not me.
Brooke, she still does it 2 years later. It's all right.
Yeah, so we need to label the cages, we need to put notes in the chart. Data loss. Data loss.
Computer crashes or so
Should
much.
always be back.
Yeah, computer crashes. What else could result in data loss? Fires. What else? Okay. What if Dr. Valdez's drink is sitting right next to the computer, and then Vicky picks her purse up and doesn't notice it and puts it right on the computer, or right on the counter, and knocks the drink into the computer. Sorry, Vicky. Sorry about that.
Thank you for picking me.
So what are some things that we do to prevent data loss? Lids. away from the computer.
Get away from your
computer.
computer.
What else?
Drink when you're working.
Stay off the internet.
Thank you. Viruses are #1 threat.
Mandy's on her.
Nobody's home.
Is that Mandy there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what made
Oh,
me-
did it lock her out when she left? Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, so, yes, we have antivirus programs, we have, keystroke monitors. Please, 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 do not go anywhere that is not work-related. You can get a virus going to a work-related website, absolutely. If that happens, then we pay for it. If we get a virus going to a non-work-related website, it's not gonna be good, okay? Do not do it.
You can track
So I'm
who's been
Oh, yeah,
there,
Oh yeah, I got
where
all
they
the
went.
keystroke things,
She's
yeah.
got all that stuff.
Absolutely. What happens, let's just be honest, what happens if you use the computer in a way that you're not authorized to be using it, which is for non-work related stuff?
Get your computer stuff revoked.
Is there anyone here who can do their jobs without having to touch the computer?
Nope.
So yeah, there are a couple of you lucky, lucky ladies, but the rest of us will be absolutely unable to do our job functions, which would, I don't know, very much render you jobless.
We just,
How about laser safety? That's a new one this year. What sort of PPE do we do for laser safety? Yeah, absolutely. What do we avoid?
Laser tag.
Dang it!
What's the question? I can help you. What is it? I can help you.
Oh.
What's the question?
oh no, we were just talking about, she said she doesn't use the computer, and I said, we just put notes in and stuff like that.
Gotcha, yeah. So yeah, you would be a lucky one that you could be out of there, or you wouldn't have to be out of there. Alright, so laser safety, we're talking about goggles. What else, what are we really careful, Melissa, to avoid when we're doing laser?
Eyes.
Eyes, let it spinning in one spot. Yeah. We also try and avoid doing it on the stainless table, a lot of super reflective
Reflective
surfaces, because we need to know where it's coming from.
We need to worry about putting the sign on the door, we're not doing that.
That's a very good, and looking when the sign is on the door, that we don't just go walking right through it, because a lot of times we use that room 1 at Park Heights, which is also our little shortcut, and we don't realize that, walk right in and blind you.
You wear black if you're pregnant. Black if you're pregnant.
I'm pretty sure just not shining on your stomach would be adequate.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
if you're
said
pregnant, you have to wear,
black
you're
apron
supposed to wear black underneath.
Really?
Mhm.
I did not know that. Interesting. Cool, okay, I'm gonna add that to my list. I did not know that.
No.
I remember it said something about black ones and not necessarily if you're pregnant. I remember like if you're doing stuff here, you're just supposed to use it.
Let's go back really quick, let's just talk about fire extinguishers really quick. When do we use fire extinguishers?
There's a fire.
When there's a fire.
There's a fire. I set yourself up. Yeah, and the fact that I didn't see it coming is what actually disappoints me. What sort of fires?
Small, containable.
Yes.
Thank you. This side of the room is my new favorite. Are fire extinguishers for big fires?
No.
What happens if you use the first fire extinguisher?
A second one's not gonna help you.
Yeah, thank you. You should never be using a second fire extinguisher. You should be evacuating. While you're using that first fire extinguisher, what should your coworkers be doing?
Calling 911.
Thank you. Thank you. Yay, okay.
It's in unison.
All right, so, I know, a little bit of
Co-workers in the building.
Yeah, as long as you have a coworker.
Yeah, if you have somebody in the building.
Maybe a little bit, go back to slips, trips, and falls. What are some things that we do every single day, when we get dressed in the morning to prevent slips, trips, and falls? What's like your #1 thing you can do?
Proper shoes.
Proper shoes, yep. Is there anyone in this room right now who is not wearing shoes that OSHA would say are appropriate to be on the floor?
The boss.
Yeah. Could Anita Valdez show up?
They're so cute.
I've totally lost control. Could she show up wearing those shoes and work on the hospital floor?
No.
Well, but you don't work on the hospital floor. We would make the argument that you were not working.
You were delivering
Yes, you were delivering, you were arriving, you were doing an administrative function, you were not working on the floor. I would have all sorts of justifications when confronted with my OSHA rep. So, what do shoes need to be in order to be OSHA compliant?
Closed toe.
Slippers. Okay, does anyone know what I'm looking for right now?
Sneakers.
Nobody's wearing them.
They're not OSHA approved,
Crocs aren't?
not with the open holes.
Right, they have a shoe that looks like a crack that's OSHA approved.
Yeah, and in fact, I think Croc has a
Full.
solid
Solid, yes,
cover, but not the cute little ventilation holes. Are
Cute.
just ports into your being
Little
for
shoes on it.
blood, urine, vomit, and other chemicals.
Guess what?
So yeah, keep that in mind. I think that is something, there are things, I can tell you what we've been lax on. I mean, who knows what we've been lax on? And in the whole OSHA world, what are the rules that we break more often than we should?
X-ray,
What about it?
not wearing gloves.
Are you serious, Mandy?
Swear to God.
No, shut up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call everyone out on it.
I don't think that happens at Insert Animal Hospital, but you were not working at that yet. Yeah, gloves.
The thyroid shield.
Thyroid shields. What else?
It smells.
What?
The thyroid shield smells.
Random.
Honestly, that's why I don't like. I could just see her telling an OSHA rep that.
Yeah, I know, I'm like, these are not OSHA defensible actions. What else? The Crocs with the holes in them. What else? There's a,
Stilettos.
Melissa and I.
what?
I'm being stupid. I said stilettos. Never mind.
There's a big one. There's a big one that you guys do not want to hear.
Staying on
Oh, I
couch.
know what it is.
The rolly chairs?
Eating.
For stools?
Oh.
Eating in the, eating in the surgery room, eating and grooming.
There should be no eating in animal care areas.
Yep, it's one of the dirtiest things.
None. Filthy. Absolutely filthy. That is something that I am putting on my list for 2012 that we're gonna phase out. I understand.
Sorry, I opened my mouth.
Oh yeah, we would've gotten there. Don't worry, Debbie. I was leading you down the path, okay? No one else was coming. That's one of the things that we're gonna phase out in 2012. What?
Weed and rooming.
I like that. A lot of meetings, but perhaps we need to rethink that. Oh, sorry.
Good shot.
It's the quiet ones you gotta worry about. Yeah, it's really, I mean, it is hugely frowned on. We all know that we can't have human food in the OSHA, like the biological fridges.
Oh, no one
Can we
runs
eat
when we get
kibble?
the phone call and pull stuff out of them fridges. That
Absolutely.
never.
We've all been in action on that one. Yeah. Here, hide this, quick. Pack up the cages in the grooming room.
And realistically, I don't even, I gotta throw it on the floor, I don't care. Like, yep, that's where we always keep our birthday cakes. Like, but it better not be in the refrigerator. But that is really something, and the reason, I mean, I know why we do it, is because it's hard to stop, move out of a treatment area, eat, and come back. So what we have to do is designate some area as this is our OSHA approved area that we can eat. A shed.
Where exactly?
I'll bring you walk the dog.
Yeah, but we need to think about it, because that is where we're gonna get nailed.
You know, I'm not trying to be funny, but we have, I mean,
There's no place.
there's no place because we've got the dead dog freezer in our kitchen.
They're frozen, they're much more dangerous than much more.
Those dogs don't contribute to
And now the kennel right there.
So that's still not.
Exam rooms are usually considered, I've been doing some research on this, trying to figure it out, like, what do we do? Obviously upstairs at Village Vet, you're clear. What I'm trying to figure out though, and so far I'm reading that yes, exam rooms are considered okay areas to eat, because you can say that while it is being used as an eating area, it is closed, we are not using it for something else. It's not like you have to have a cafeteria that nothing ever happens, but you need to say, right now eating activities are happening, so therefore dogs aren't being walked through, things like that. And that you can say this area has been cleaned before and after, actually really before, they don't care if the dogs get contaminated with your pizza, it's the other way around. What were you gonna say?
Your little office used to be our little lunchroom.
We made you a lunchroom upstairs.
There's no table.
I thought that was someone's bedroom.
Giant wooden desk out there.
You have it upstairs. How about you be happy that you have it upstairs?
You guys hear that?
I don't wanna go there.
I've been up there once.
They don't like
Is it
their
hot?
lunchroom.
Oh, the AC doesn't work.
No, there's no and rats go there.
I think your people
You should mention that as part of it.
let's talk a little bit, we hit on things very beginning. Sharp things, scalpels, needles, things like that. What do we do to keep from being stabbed?
Don't run with them.
Coverage? What'd you say?
I said don't run with them.
Don't run with them, what else? Yep. How do you know where sharps are supposed to go?
It's the red.
It's red.
Is there a red sharps box in every area of the hospital that sharps would be used? You should never have to leave a doorway in an area that sharps are used in order to dispose of that sharp. I challenge you guys to find it.
Aren't you supposed to hold it above your head too if you're scared?
I can't imagine that.
You are.
You are supposed to hold it above your head.
Another question.
Yes.
We give insulin to pets in boarding. I don't remember seeing a sharps box in boarding.
Yes, there is.
It's on the shelf where the stuff is stored, right?
Okay. Good one for you. All right, I never thought of that one.
Well, we have a sharps container, but it's all the way in the back.
Sure, the catcher.
Reference, that went straight to her.
I did tell you this thing takes automatic stills when it detects a facial feature. Yeah, it just took one right after you threw that.
How come the sharps container at the villa is way in the back near the kitchen?
Wait, did I say it again?
Why is the sharps container at the villa near the kitchen?
Oh, because that's where you'd be preparing insulin? I don't know.
But that's not where you would be giving insulin.
No,
I mean,
you have
if
to
the cat
walk.
is up in the front by the front door, what do you do?
You have to walk from whatever room. it
Yeah,
is.
I would, hold it above your head.
You
And-
couldn't recap your needle.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be somewhere, and that's just kind of a big open area. If you guys want, you could move it closer to the refrigerator, because at least that's where you would be drawing the insulin from, so you'd have to be like returning to that location. It'd be kind of hard because you could be like in any end of the practice, but as long as you know where the sharps container is, so you know how to get to it. What were you thinking?
No, I said there's insulin shots all over that building.
Yeah.
The only place to put it would be centrally located.
Yeah, and it can either be a kitchen or by the.
My other question on the refrigerator is, when you have any kind of vaccine material in a refrigerator, it's supposed to be OSHA approved? No food in that refrigerator.
Unless it's for the dogs, right? If you're
Yeah,
saying
dog
that it's
food
for
is
dogs,
fine.
it's
Food's
dog
acceptable.
food.
No human.
Well, we share.
You'd be surprised what Austin eats. Maybe in Austin share every Saturday.
So, maybe we need to think about getting a little fridge at, the villas to put the vaccine. I'll also look, I wonder if, because of it's such a small amount, we can designate like, I don't know how separate it has to be a completely separate refrigerator, then rattle up.
It has to be a
There's
separate
no
refrigerator.
sort
You
of
can use like a
like,
vegetable tray or something.
It has to be a separate refrigerator.
You can have the freezer, cause at the village, the freezer is human
You gotta have
consumption,
a,
yeah.
and the refrigerator is animal consumption.
compression, and that is okay, but if
cigarette
you have a
lighter.
frozen thing of cephalexin up there, done,
We
you
could
can't
get
do
an
that.
adapter.
It has, yeah, cause we have done, and they looked at it when they, checked the other guys
Can you
that
put the
checked
frozen stuff in with the dogs?
occupational license, they checked that, and they're like, nope, that's all good, cause those are separate compartments.
Separate compartments,
But I don't think you can use a vegetable tray.
No, my
as-
understanding is it has to be a separate refrigerator.
Can you put the frozen stuff for the dogs in with the dead dogs?
Yeah, you can leave your frozen food and frozen medications or other things up in the freezer, no problem.
No, you cannot.
No.
You cannot have a frozen cephalexin in the freezer with human consumption foods.
No, the last time she came, it was, I thought there was something up there.
No, 'cause I think Park Heights got in trouble for that. You cannot have it. You have to have, nothing else can be in there. I think I remember they got in
You
trouble
mean
for that.
Cefazol? What?
Did you get in trouble?
Cefazol.
Yeah, like frozen Cefazol.
Cefazol, yeah.
Oh,
It stays in
okay.
trouble,
so we didn't know when it's
new trouble or old trouble.
You can't mix them. You have, if it's frozen, it has to be only frozen, our food.
We fast every time.
No, listen, it was just like the thing, but I thought that there was.
When's the last time we had an OHSA inspection? Hasn't been
Not too long ago.
Did somebody come and
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not right.
Over a year
Yeah,
ago.
no, that's true.
somebody came to the villas at the beginning of the year? I don't know.
That's
Department
that's
of
the
Educational
board.
Regulation.
Oh, okay, because I remember them being upset that there was hair on the floor and we were still in the middle of grooming. Somebody said he's still. It was when Dan was still there, and this person came through and he saw the hair on the floor and he said that needs to be picked up, and whoever was showing him saying he's still grooming.
You know why it is? In the state of Florida, another reason I love the state of Florida, the people that inspect animal hospitals are the same people that inspect nail salons, barbers, tanning salons. Yes. We're not inspected by people who inspect medical facilities. So they come and they say things like there should be no hair on the floor, or how do you disinfect your combs between, no, that doesn't apply to us. Oh, yeah, I see that here. Okay, sorry. Now, they have no clue. And they say, I need to speak with the veterinarian in charge. Oh, he's in surgery. Well, I need to speak with him. Well, you're going to have to wait. This is not a barber. You have to wait. But they don't know what they're, not they don't know what they're doing, but we're just the anomaly for them, not the standard.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask, was there a question over in the corner from Melissa? Okay. All right, so do you guys have any questions about what we've talked about so far? Okay. All right, so everyone has that, the thicker, 5, 6, 7 page packet, right?
Hey, no horseplay or scuffling. Come on, Sarah.
I know. And you'd be surprised how little of this I actually wrote, and how much I just copy and pasted from the OHSA website. So, yeah,
Spoil all our fun.
this is what they require. I'm going to expect that you guys read and understand this. I'm just gonna kind of hit the high points for you, okay? Everyone else got their phones on silent? You good?
I just turned it down, sorry.
I'd rather just have one time than 30 times, and I forgot to say it in the beginning. Alright. Chemicals, they're everywhere, right? But we have to use them to make our job more efficient and sometimes safer, but we do have to be careful. Kind of outline some of the more hazardous chemicals in our workplace. X-ray fixer and developer, that's one we forgot to mention earlier. Dip quick stains, lab machine reagents, and isoflurane. What happens if you have a little bottle of peroxide? You pour it into a spray bottle? Better be labeled. Better be labeled, right? Because what happens if Jenna comes along and picks up that bottle and goes, oh, thank goodness, the peroxide, but what she doesn't know is that Kaylee just put bleach in that bottle. And so Jenna sprays it right into the eyes of her groom. Well, I spray peroxide.
I get in trouble for it.
You always label your, Louise, I don't know, I'm not a groomer, maybe you don't spray peroxide.
Would you spray peroxide in your eyes?
I don't know, okay, it was a weak analogy, I was just going someplace.
But you would spray it on a cut.
Yes,
And now
that's
you
what I
put
meant to
bleach on
cut, and it was by the eye.
And now it's extra clean.
It's only if you wanna make the eye vomit.
But yeah, the point is, you need to know what's in those bottles, right?
The appropriate label. The MSDS.
Yes, the
approved
MSDS label.
label.
So last year we went through and made sure that every bottle, everything in our hospitals was labeled. Does that mean that if I did an inspection right now, there's no way at all that I will find an item that's not either in their original container or properly MSDS labeled? Anyone wanna bet me $5 that if given enough time, I can find something?
Never ask a question you don't already know the answer.
Put the loop thing.
What do you, you're nodding, April, what do you think? You think I could find one? You gotta look really hard to win $5, yeah. If you guys see a bottle, whose responsibility is it to label it?
You have to bring it to
Right.
me.
Louisiana's right, whoever finds it. If you don't know how to label that bottle, it's your responsibility to bring it to the attention of someone who can and take it out of circulation so no one can accidentally get hurt and spray peroxide or bleach in something's eye, okay? So please don't just go, I don't know what that is, that should have been labeled and set it back on the counter, okay? That's your responsibility. All right, everyone's comfortable with MSDS sheets, where they are, what they do, okay? We keep MSDS sheets for 15 years.
Wow. And we have some that have been in there longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
This says 30 years. Oh no, never mind.
Or
Okay.
chemical inventory, yeah. Okay. Page 5 talks about employee information and training. That's what we're doing now, making sure that everyone's comfortable, that anyone who has any questions either knows where to find the information or who to ask of that information. Rhonda, how are you feeling about your training so far? Feeling pretty good? All right, let's just read through our general policies really quick. I'm not gonna read to you guys, but I'm gonna hit these. All employees of this firm should follow the safe practice rules, render every possible aid to safe operation, and report all unsafe conditions or practices to the supervisor/employer. Make sense? All right. Number 2 is kind of interesting. Supervisors shall insist that employees observe and obey every rule, regulation, and order necessary to the safe conduct of the work and take such action necessary to obtain compliance. So that means that if I see somebody taking x-rays without gloves, it's my responsibility now. It wasn't before, but this outlines it is my responsibility to make sure that it's done. That if I see dentals being done with biological spray coming into your face and you are not utilizing the personal protective equipment that's provided, it is my responsibility to fix that situation. Okay? Crocs with holes. I can't look the other way. It's my responsibility to keep you safe if you guys aren't doing it yourselves.
You didn't mention how much jewelry.
Like cookie ring jewelry and stuff, yeah. That's a very good point. Let's talk a little bit just about our uniform, like standards and appearance. What part of our uniform standard relates to safety?
No hanging jewelry.
That's an easy one. She kind of gave it to you, right?
Yeah.
What could happen if you had hanging jewelry?
An animal could pull it.
You could have something like ripped out of your ear. What happened if you had like, what are those things called? Like what's that stuff when you have like the metal in your face? Jenna,
Facial
what's that called?
facial piercings.
What could happen if you had a facial piercing and when you were working around an animal?
Same thing.
What?
Animal could pull it.
Yeah.
Knock
absolutely.
it into your
You
teeth.
You could stab an animal, you could stab yourself, something could get ripped out of your face. I mean,
That's why I take my nose ring out every morning.
Me too.
yeah. Hair pulled back. What else? What about watches? This is not necessarily an OSHA thing, but what does our uniform policy say about watches?
Need one of a second hand.
You should have one. They should either be digital or a second hand. You need to be able to time in seconds, however you do that. That's on the uniform standards.
That bill is included?
Hmm?
That bill is included?
If you're gonna be, the reason that you need them is to time a seizure. So yeah, I was gonna say like, well, I would work, yes, time a seizure.
Because our
time
clock
allowed
broke,
test, what?
because our clock broke.
Where's your broken clock? Yeah, but I would say anyone who is going to possibly need to render aid to an animal should have a watch on.
Okay.
All right, all employees should be given routine accident prevention instruction, drills, articles containing workplace safety at least once a year. Absolutely. Anyone known to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs should not be allowed on the job while in that condition. And remember, we've all talked about, if you're on like doctor prescribed drugs that could some way impact your performance, just let us know. We're going to adjust your job duties in any way that we can, and that we need to keep you safe, okay? So if your doctor says, this could cause you to be dizzy, let us know, because you're not the person I'm gonna ask to stand then on the 3-step ladder in order to dust something. Okay? Keep us informed so we can keep you safe, but I don't know unless you tell me. All right, if there's something wrong with you, fatigue, illness, or other causes that are gonna negatively affect your ability to work safely, we're gonna adjust what you're gonna be doing.
Everybody knows if I get bit, be ready to catch me. Cause I'll faint.
Really? What is it about? It's not the blood, obviously. What is it?
I think it's just, I don't know.
The case of
I asked Dr. Bunsell, I told him about as white as his hair.
You turn platinum?
If you get bit?
Yes.
Yeah, bit today.
Don't cover it, pillow.
Workplace scuffling, other things, I mean, that's just a list, obviously. Work should be planned and supervised. So let's say you're going to get a giant dog off the surgery table. What do you need to judge before you pick that dog up?
Weight.
And what is the cutoff for a solo lift?
40 pounds.
And then what do you do if you're looking at a dog that is around 40 pounds or more?
Find a friend. Grab a second hand.
Get a friend. Yep.
I had a friend.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Get two.
He's not a very good friend.
Yeah. Oh no, like, again, and this stuff is, we're trying to make things as safe as possible. I mean, does this mean that no one's ever gonna get bit? Does no one's ever gonna fall down? Is no one ever gonna hurt their back? No, but let's make sure that we minimize it and everyone is as aware of as possible so you can protect yourself. I'm not saying that you weren't, I'm just saying, be careful, people. Okay, let's say, that Melissa notices that a light's not working. I've picked on Melissa a lot.
How about Jenna, cause she's got a light that's not
No,
working.
Jenna's right in front of me and has been getting the brunt of
Kaylee.
Annette.
We go to Dr. Mansell.
Go to our maintenance man.
I almost died. I almost was injured. Alright, so let's say Annette
Wine
is
chocolate.
working, and Annette likes to be very helpful, and she likes to find things that she can do to help. And there's a light that's like flickering over in the side. Annette, have you ever had any sort of electronic or electrician training? No. Would you say that like electrical work is part of your general scope of work? No. Do you think it'd be a good idea for you to drag out a ladder, grab a screwdriver, and start poking around and?
Of course not.
Of course not. If something is so far outside the scope of your normal work and training, don't do it. Stop. This is not a time to grab screwdrivers and stick them in electrical sockets and go, oh, I never knew.
That's what we have Dr. Mansell for. That's how his haircut got colored.
Okay, go find Dr. Mansell, find Dr. Valdez, find somebody who has been trained to do it, because realistically, if I don't train Danielle ever how to rewire the switch, and she gets hurt doing it, and then goes, oh gosh, I didn't know that I couldn't stick a screwdriver in it, no one ever told me. Well, no kidding, it was so far outside your work expectations that you should not have put yourself in a dangerous situation like that by jamming around with something you don't know how to do. Alright, so if you're asked to do something that you have not been trained for and you don't feel that you understand how to do, don't do it and ask for help.
Okay.
Alright. What happens if you are injured at work?
Report it immediately.
Who do you report it to?
Supervisor.
What happens if your supervisor is not there?
Doctor in charge.
Doctor in charge. What happens if the doctor in charge is at lunch?
Well,
Call us
I'm
up.
going.
There's always a
Text
new
you.
one. Cell phone.
Anita Valdez, remember she's our OSHA, okay?
Yep.
I'm just looking at her shoes. So you need to report it to somebody, you need to report it immediately, at least within 12 hours, okay? But immediately is even better. Okay, so let's just say,
What we used to have, we used to have an accident report form, that maybe it wasn't OSHA, no, but it wasn't like you had to report it to OSHA, but it was just, hey, you know, a cat scratched me today, so it was signed off on by a supervisor, so we knew something happened, so if it got worse 2 days later, it was reported.
absolutely. Each hospital is gonna have one of these folders. It says OSHA safety info. It's not technically OSHA, it's also workman's comp, it's just general safety info. I was very OSHA focused right now, but, it's gonna have, and I've gotta get some tape, the front, each one has this name, they're all labeled. It says injury reporting guide. In case of injury, report injury to your supervisor. Sarah, Danielle, Amber, a doctor, Anita Valdez immediately, okay? Then you fill out this first report of injury form. Got all sorts of information. How did you get hurt? Who saw you get hurt? You know, do you think you're gonna die from it? All of these things, okay? Let's say, listen, here's what happened the other day, and I don't think Joyce will mind if we use hers as an example, because it's a classic example. Joyce was typing, she pushed back with her rolling chair, and somehow the wheels caught on the grout lines in just the right way, and dumped her out on the side. Unfortunately, it dumped her on the side by way of bouncing her off the counter on her arm, okay? She went, oh man, ow, 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 you know, a bunch of people helped her up. She said, oh, I'm okay, I just, you know, fell down and go boom. Then, come like 2 hours later, she went ahead and went to lunch. Arm's a little sore, just kind of scraped it on the counter before I hit the ground. She comes back from lunch and we look at her arm and she has a bloody scrape from back here in the back of her shoulder down to almost her elbow, and within 2 hours the whole thing is black and blue and purple and like one of the worst bruises I've ever seen that fast. Okay? So we said, you know, do you think you need to go? Do you need to go to the doctor? No, you know, I'm fine. I just, you know, it's just a bruise, it'll be fine. Okay. Well, we went ahead and had her fill out, here's your, you know, injury report, because you're dealing with workman's comp is insurance. You don't ever want to give them a reason to say, did anyone see you fall down? Like, who knows? Maybe you actually fell down at home. Maybe this, you know, no, you don't want any sort of doubt. So she filled out the form, just made sure, but she said, I don't think I need to go to the doctor, I'm fine. Well, 3 weeks later, now her shoulder is starting to lock up, she's got limited range of motion, and it's still swollen and hurts. So thankfully, she had that form, we sent her to the doctor, there's a whole little list of doctors, and it says, if you think you need medical attention right away, you fill it out, you give it to your supervisor, we call the number in, they give you a number, you go to one of the places on this list here, with your little number, and workman's comp takes care of it, they figure out what you need to do next, okay? It's a smooth, easy process, not a problem at all. If you don't need to go to the doctor right away, fine, you just file it, you keep it, because 3 weeks later, Joyce's shoulder is not good. She needs to go to the doctor, and that's one of the first things they said when we go to call it in is, did anyone see this injury? Yes, we saw the injury. Did she report it to anyone? Yes, she reported it. Here's the form, everything is fine, don't worry. So, honestly, let's say you fall down and break a leg, you're gonna call 911, you're gonna go straight to the hospital, okay? You skip all of these other steps if it's a medical emergency. We'll figure it out all later, okay? So each hospital is gonna have a little folder like this. Is there any advantage to not reporting the injury? Am I going to be happy if you don't report an injury? Am I going to be annoyed if you fell down and hurt yourself? Accidents happen. Safety of our team is the #1 priority. We'll figure out anything else later. We just want to make sure that you guys are okay.
That's what workman's comp is for.
Yeah, we pay workman's comp. It is an insurance, you know, that's fine. We pay it because we want to make sure that every single person, if they get hurt, has the ability to go to the doctor, get prescriptions, do physical therapy, whatever we need to do. Okay?
It's about 22,000 a year.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Last page of your form, and I know that you guys are sharing, so just take over to the other one. Last page of your form says, I have read it, I understand it, I have been given opportunities to ask questions. Please sign and date. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. You can always ask later too, but if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay. When you're done with your signing and dating of your form, flip it out to the end where you have put your emergency contact form and hang it over the side so I can come and get it.